Well, hey YouTube, it's Petey Two Finger here, and I'm going to be restringing the catocaster. This is a guitar. I did a custom paint job on it. When I got this guitar, it was painted solid red with Eddie Van Halen white striping on it, and it was a corked guitar. Now you can see there's a battery, or can you see? There's a battery compartment here. I added that. I replaced a lot of the hardware on here, including the saddles are replaced. It's got a boost, a clean boost, like a Alembic Strat is what it's called, circuit. And then there's a Demeter fat control, which is like similar to the Clapton mid boost. So there's a story about how I got this guitar. I'll tell that at the end. What I'm going to do today is probably shim the nut, raise the nut up, and then adjust the saddles a little higher and put some 11 gauges on it and try to block the tremolo. It's a horrible tremolo system. The good thing about this guitar is when you turn up the mid boost and then set the pickup selector to the neck pickup, you get this real creamy, quacky Strat thing that I've only heard on one album, and that's Roger Waters' The Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. This is his first solo album. He wrote 2 albums at the time of his divorce. One being Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking, the other being The Wall. And he took blueprints of these albums to Pink Floyd and said, hey, you guys, which album do you want to do? And they picked The Wall. And their quote was, the Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking felt too personal to be a Pink Floyd album. So at that point, after the final cut, when Roger exited the band and he went on to become a solo artist, that was his first album. Eric Clapton plays the guitar, and I have to tell you, it's the best blues guitar I've ever heard in my life, and it's Eric Clapton's best guitar work. It's just incredible. If you've never heard that album, that's really why I'm making this video, is to encourage people who watch this to go ahead and listen to the whole thing. Listen to the Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. It's this trippy album Waters made at the same time that he made The Wall. He does a lot of that heartbroken whining into a scream kind of thing that he started playing around with that during Animals and The Wall and the final cut, and he really perfected it with Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. It tells a story. It's actually one evening. He keeps waking up, so there's times. The songs are times. And he's dreaming. He's having these nightmare, trippy dreams. And it tells this story about how his marriage falls apart. So I was always just like, man, that guitar, like, what is that sound? It's very distinctive sound that I've never heard before. And then when I finished this project and had installed the Demeter Fat Boost, I played through a crappy practice amp, and like a piece of shit practice amp, and could not believe that sound. And then when I played it on a Roland JC, it was just like, that's it. With the spring reverb, that's that sound. And that's how you get that. It's a Strat on the neck pickup with the mid boost. So anybody who has a Strat, if you've never played around with that mid boost circuit, it's a thing. And it works on your bridge pickup too. It's really, really unique sound. Very underrated, kind of a secret recipe. So that's kind of the case of this video. And if you want to know the story behind this guitar that originally had an Eddie Van Halen paint job, I'll tell you what, it's the spray paint that I did on here is a guy who calls himself Crash. This artist who was hip in the early 90s called himself Crash, and he did a bunch of these guitars for Clapton that look like this. They're all a little bit different, but it's the same theme of kind of chunks of colors, very 80s looking, you know. And when I saw this one, this was always my favorite, and I thought, oh my God, if I could ever get a guitar like that. And then it turns out I can't really play it. It doesn't stay in tune very well. The tremolo's horrible. Like, I tried replacing the whole tremolo system, and there was something about the spacing on it is goofy. So really, I mean, it's a plywood body. Quite honestly, what I would need to do is to get another Strat, a real Strat, that a player, and go through this process. I can't believe I did it. I was trying to do it cheap, and we got the guitar for free, and I asked my wife, and I ended up buying all of these parts. You know, I bought like this cover, the battery, the tremolo, saddles. I bought a couple of bridges to try out, locking tuner, so that I did spend some money on it. It's like I never play it. So I'm going to put a shim under the nut, raise that up, adjust these to raise them up, put some 11 gauge strings on it, and then it'll be a slide guitar. Maybe I can get it stable for slide if I deck the bridge, deck the tremolo. So that's the plan for the Catocaster. And like I said, this singer of mine, my ex-singer, and his ex-wife, she had these kids, these boys, a whole tribe of them, and they enlisted me to go with them to the pawn shop and the Guitar Center. The oldest kid was like 13. He wanted to play guitar, and they wanted me to come with to make sure they weren't going to get ripped off. So we got him a Digitech RP90 multi-effector for $20 at a pawn shop, and then we headed over to the Guitar Center, and they all went into the Guitar Center, and I saw this neck of a guitar sticking out of the dumpster, and I was like, what's that? I'm going to grab that guitar. And the one kid who was not getting a guitar that day, of course, came with me, and I had to get in there and I'll dig it out. And of course, he would not stop begging me for it. Now, at the time, this guitar was missing a single fret, meaning the guy who had it knew it didn't play in tune. And that he must have figured that the neck was bad, that the neck was not even manufactured properly, with the spacing of the strings being off. So he pulled one fret and then gave up. I bought a set of frets for it and installed one fret. It was like $1.31 for the frets. But anyway, when I got this guitar, I told them, listen, this is missing a fret, so you can't play it. It's unless you go to a guitar store and tell them to put a fret in for you, and they won't charge you a lot. If they see how junky of a guitar this is, they'll do it while you wait. You know. And I said, don't smash the guitar. I know you guys have, you all have your plastic Xbox, those plastic guitars, and they had camcorders, and I knew what they were going to do. They were going to smash this thing and put it up on YouTube. And I said, listen, I found this, and I want to take it home and give it to my daughter and put a fret on it. But since this kid won't stop jumping up and down, and please, 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 I'll give it to you, but you got to promise me you're not going to destroy it, or smash it, or spray paint a skull on it, anything. Don't wreck it. Don't carve your initials into it with a screwdriver, because I'm going to want it back. I'm going to fix the fret. I'm going to get it going and repaint it. So 15 years later, after he caught her, I shouldn't get personal. Their relationship ended, and those kids were history. So I got two guitars. I got this Catocaster, which was an Eddie Van Halen looking guitar, and I painted it to look like this, which was a mistake. I thought I could fix its problems and get it to stay in tune and get the tremolo to work and all that, and I was wrong. It's just a piece of shit. It's a plywood body, you know. So it's a wall hanger is what it is. Today I'm gonna put 11s on it and maybe get some use for slide out of it. maybe not, but the 11s are going on there today. That's what I'm going to be doing today. Now, I did get another guitar. That same day, they gave me a brand new Epiphone Les Paul, beautiful blue Les Paul, that the headstock is snapped off clean, like a 45-degree angle. Like literally, you took it and went up to a table countertop and just like, fuck your guitar, I'm smashing the neck off, and it just broke 45-degree. No angle, like usually it'll be break of an angle and you can glue it. So I glued it 4 or 5 times, and then I took it into the shop, and he cut these slats and everything, and charged me. And then I took it home, and it sat for a month, and I took it out of the case, and it was broke again. So that guitar, that Epiphone, I think it's going to be something that in essence, was just like me burning $100 bill. It's at the shop. It's been there for a year, and I'm waiting to hear back from the guy. Did he ever re-repair it, or what did he do? Or, ideally what he would do is remove the neck for me and be like, here you go. There's a new neck in it. That's what it needs. And then I would be like, dude, I'll pay you another $100. But, so yeah, what a great friend. Give me these horrible broken guitars that are unbelievable waste of time and money. Because this thing, I'm telling you, I'm going to smash it. All right, you guys. I'm going to make one more video today. There's a Psychodots concert from 1993 that I was not aware that it was uploaded. It was uploaded like a year ago, and I found it yesterday. You got to check this concert out. It's really good. It's like 58-minute shot, kind of a 3-camera pro shot thing. This band called Psychodots. Man, it's awesome. I watched it last night. They screw up the first song coming out of the lead. It's kind of a little bit of a train wreck there. But the whole rest of the night, pretty much one of those Psychodots shows. My wife and I saw them a bunch of times, but this is all information for the other video. But make sure you check that out. Roger Waters' Pros and Cons of Hitchhiking. Listen to that. Eric Clapton, performance of a lifetime. I tell you, that's his favorite guitar that he ever did in his career. It's my favorite. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.